Nistuff.
Hey, what's up? So, G2 was like a crazy time for Transformers, right? Everyone's neon or like metallic, and sometimes both. It's nuts. But, what about Megatron? He's like the main big bad guy, right? He was also a gun before G2. Leader of the Decepticons, child of the Constructicons, gun for Starscream. So, like, what could they have done to make him even more out there? Bam! Green and purple Tank Man. Right away I have a few questions. Like, what do you blend in with when you're green and purple? Trees? Toxic waste? I don't know. And it's like, yeah, I get it. He wasn't really concerned with blended in before, as a gun. But like, why purple and green? It's weird, right? But this Ratfink toy also uses the same color scheme. So who knows, right? Maybe the 80s were onto something, right? Or maybe this toy just references the G2 Megatron tank, or like vice versa. I don't know. Who could say, right? But anyway, I got a lot of these guys, a lot of weirdo G2 Megatrons. So let's just get into it with, first up, the first one. This is where it all started. Restarted, right? Since it was G2. But you know what I'm saying. Really drink in that chunk, Is he in the best condition? No. But sometimes that's okay, right? He's missing some stickers and he's dinged up a bit here and there, but it's fine, right? Gives him some personality. Tank mode looks like this. What a chunkin' tank, right? There's just something so 90s about it, right? It's pretty nuts. Here he is with some other figures. It's kind of astounding how big Transformers used to be, Anyway, on to something less gigantic. Next up, the Beast Wars minis. These aren't really Megatron per se, but close enough, right? They've got green and purple, and they're ready to getcha, Paint's all right where it needs to be. The sculpts are pretty good too, but the real test of a figure is seeing it unpainted. And ta-da! It's an Energon doppelganger. These came in a big box set, and they're totally and entirely whatever, They're definitely not for everybody, but it's pretty cool to see all the details entirely made out of light piping, right? And speaking of light piping, next up, the Collectors Club one. This little transparent guy is just so adorable. He's green and purple, and you guessed it, he turns into a tank. He fits the theme just fine. This mold was like never the best, but it's always looked pretty good. I mean, it was Warpath and then Megatron and then Megatron and then this one. So yeah, I guess style over substance really can get you pretty far, huh? Here he is with some other figures, and here he is with the last few Megatrons. Looking pretty good so far, right? Next up, the Bludgeon one. So this one's insane, man. It's like I said, it's based on Bludgeon, but it's got the crazy slider pushed all the way up. Like it's a fine figure, it just doesn't feel like Megatron, Look at those claw feet, those nasty little thin arms, the Decepticon crotch guard, the dangly tread bits hanging off of him here and there. His colors are right though, so hey, win some, lose some, Except in this case, it kind of feels like it loses a lot, He poses pretty nicely. He may be thin and horrible and ugly, but the dude's got moves, right? He comes with a sword, and if you crack open his tank turret, he's got another backup sword, which is pretty good. Tank mode looks like this. On paper, it checks nearly all the boxes, right? But I don't know. It's just a little too janky for my liking, right? Here he is with some other figures, and here he is with the last few Megatrons. Man, what a weird figure, right? Next up, the Hasbro Pulse one. Redemption time, So Earthrise Megatron came out and he looked like this. But this one comes along and suddenly it all works for me, right? Color makes things better. What a crazy concept. To be fair, it was mostly the head sculpt that looked pretty bad. Like, it's kind of just 5 degrees off from the expected G1 Megatron face, But I hear what you're saying. This is supposed to be G2, right? And yeah, sure, but why did they release this one in the G1 Megatron deco, right? Why'd they do that? Money. That's why. But yeah, controversial statement incoming. I love this one. It's like my favorite Megatron from the past few years. It's just so bright and gaudy that you don't even notice all the other flaws he's got. His articulation's okay, the paint's all great, and he's just got such a presence, right? Also, I kind of made him a backpack out of the weaponizers? I couldn't remember what they're called. Not too accurate to the original, but still looks pretty good. Here's the pieces in case you want to build your own. Here he is in tank mode, and it's like totally an acceptable tank, right? Here he is with some other figures, and here he is with the ever-growing G2 Megatron mob. It's looking pretty good, right? Next up, the Ratfink one. So this isn't a Transformers thing, but it is a purple and green tank. And like I know I asked earlier, but what could this be referencing other than G2 Megatron? Like, if not that, then what? I don't know. I'm seriously asking. Is there another famous green and purple tank out there that I'm unaware of? If anybody knows, leave a comment and explain it to me like I'm a child, right? Next up, the Legacy one. So this guy's awesome. He came in one of those beautiful Legacy boxes. I know I say how beautiful they are in each video, but they are. So, like, deal with it. He's based on the original Core Class Megatron, and they look pretty good together. So, I noticed this when I first got him, but, like, look how thick his purple paint is. It's like they really globbed it on there, But yeah, what a handsome green fella. He's got the classic silver head and the purple blaster. Since this mold's based on the G1 Megatron, he can't embody the full majesty of the original G2 one. But few can, This one's mostly that core class figure cosplaying as G2 Megatron, and sometimes that's just good enough, right? Tank mode's pretty sweet. Here he is with some other figures, and here he is with the last few. It's not bad, right? If you need a quick G2 fix, this guy will totally do the job. And only for like $10, Can't beat that. Also, here's something I just discovered. These 3 boxes are like all from different companies, and each one of them has like real small legend scale bots inside. But like, look how similar their box sizes are. That's crazy, right? I had no idea the box market was so competitive. Hasbro, New Age, Dr. Wu. They're like all in the pocket of big box. It was never about selling toys. How could we be so blind? They're moving boxes on a global scale, man. Next up, the purple one. It's not quite a straight up G2 Megatron. It's more of like an Arch Force kind of guy, but it's all pretty much the same stuff, right? This is the Titans Return Takara Megatron mold, and it's the only version of that mold that I have. Like no Blitzwing, no Gray Tank Megatron, no Street Fighter guy, but this guy, right? He's very okay, right? Let me just say that. He's got pretty weird arms, and pretty weird legs too. His tank mode's weird. It's all kind of weird, But all the Voyagers from Titan's Return were a little strange, right? But let me get real for a second, right? I only got this guy because he came with this. It's a little Beast Wars Dragon Megatron. And his Titan Master is actually just Beast Wars Megatron. So in the end, I bought a guy who I didn't really like and isn't very good because his head and pet are things that I do like. It's like nostalgia at its most purest form, right? He's also got a jet mode, which is fine. And here he is with the other G2 Tank Megatrons. Not bad, right? Honorable mentions include, but are not limited to, Combat Megatron and Mini Combat Megatron. Yep. And that's it. That's all of them I got. G2 Tank Megatrons. If I'm being honest though, it's pretty cool that they made him a tank after G1. Like now, kids can play with Megatron in public without immediate cause for concern, right? But yeah, if you know the origin for the green and purple tanks, let me know. But that's gonna do it for now. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, leave a comment, Instagram, Twitter, you know what to do. All right, bye. He's like the main leader of the Decepticons, child of the construction. He comes with a sword, and if you crap, look at him go. Sorry, I don't know why I said that. Honorable. Oh my God, we did it. 48 minutes, we're done. A bit.